This is Richard Flax at MoneyFarm, talking about some of the things that have caught our attention over the past few days. And this week has really been about vaccines. On Monday, Pfizer reported that their trials for a Covid-19 vaccine had shown relatively good results. And that prompted quite a sharp rally in some parts of the equity market. From our perspective, what was interesting was the differentiation between different equity markets. Some of the big winners of 2020, notably some of the large tech stocks, actually didn't really rally and in some cases fell. Whereas some of those markets that have been a bit left behind this year, notably in the UK and Europe, actually performed quite strongly. And this rotation, we think, is something to keep an eye on. Obviously, growth stocks have outperformed so-called value stocks for a number of years now. And we think that one of the catalysts for that to change could be really a stronger and more broad-based economic recovery, or at least expectations of that. And so from that perspective, the question is to what extent the vaccine has really changed the dynamic. And it's an interesting point. When we think about what markets expected, and obviously you can never quite know exactly what markets expected, but if most people seem to believe that there would be a vaccine distributed sometime in the first half of 2021. So the news of this week does a couple of things. On the one hand, it probably raises the probability that that would be the case. There was always some uncertainty as to whether we would see a vaccine, how quickly we would see a vaccine, and that probability has shrunk. The second part is that it's probably brought forward the point at which a vaccine would be broadly distributed, but not by years, rather by perhaps by a couple of months, all being well. And again, we're not certain how this will play out. But all being well, you'll see a vaccine perhaps a little bit sooner than people had expected. So how big a shift can this make to the trajectory of economic growth? Particularly in the context of a current environment where the number of cases is increasing, the number of hospitalizations sadly is increasing, and the sort of second wave is really pretty strong, at least in the US and parts of Western Europe. So when we think about how much confidence we can really have that the trajectory of economic growth has fundamentally shifted in this week, it seems to us that it's clearly a positive signal, but it's perhaps a little bit too soon to say that now we'll see materially stronger growth in 2021 than we would have done previously. What we can say, though, is that our faith in the fact that we will see a recovery in 2021 is probably a little bit stronger than it was even a week ago. Thank you very much for joining us, and look forward to speaking to you again soon.